Call this meeting to order.
No, I was at the 27th, I wasn't at the 7th, this last
Okay,
one.
so-
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Rochelle.
Here.
Keeler.
Here.
Fitzgerald.
Here.
Cramblett. Herrick.
Here. Okay, please stand for prayer. Make sure yourself are on side. Let us pray, Lord, that we can serve your people in public office. May have your blessing and guidance in our deliberations and decisions, so that we will accomplish your city will be just and beneficial to the people we serve. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Reading in a minutes from 11:10. We have a motion to approve the minutes. Yes, sir.
Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes from the November 10th meeting as presented at this time.
Second.
Vote, please.
Keeler.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Cramblett. Yes.
You know what?
Herrick.
I abstain, I wasn't here at this meeting, so abstain me, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Did you have Mr. Herrick?
yes.
Were you going to say something, Tammy?
I was gonna do roll call again, but I guess I don't have to, okay.
We have any petitions and communications? Uh, First of all, I'd like to get the council's input on when you guys would like to do the light up. I mean, it's going to be bare minimum, just the night, I don't know if council wants to be involved in it. I mean, just looking for input on the night, what we can do. Any suggestions? They're all up, ready to go. And I've asked all the businesses, some businesses we have, I want to see people decorated this year. Just the time that we've had. And businesses agreed on it, one said yes. But if anybody has input on when to light up, you'd like to do it, I'm open for suggestions.
I would say, should we even do it?
I mean, we're gonna light up, I didn't know if you guys had a suggestion, it's gonna be just a small thing, I mean, nothing.
The band's not coming down or anything this year? Yeah,
But I mean, I'm just asking, I want you guys involved in it, and if you just want us to turn the lights on at a certain time, maybe Monday night, Monday after Thanksgiving, but I know Bob, last year, he wanted to make this big this year, but with just things that went on, it wasn't going to happen. I know we can't do what the other bigger cities and people are doing, but we're still lighting our Christmas lights up. So if that's what you guys are okay with, that's what we'll do.
Who decorates the tree, or is it already decorated?
It's all decorated.
Everybody voted for you.
Oh, hey, I would love to decorate it, I don't have a problem with
Oh,
that.
city said they didn't want you to let it.
No, I would gladly
And we
do
kept
that.
all 3 trees. We're probably gonna have to get rid of the one tree sooner or later that's in the front. I don't think it's gonna grow. So we're gonna make sure that the bank knows that, you know, hey, one of those trees is there. So, and like I said, I talked to the mayor and, you know, we're all gonna invite people down, but, you know, like we talked about, we just wanted to see what you guys thought. Because, you know, we don't want to say that we're gonna have a formal lighting of the tree, because we don't want people gathering, and we couldn't live with ourselves if somebody gets sick. But, you know, council, if you guys wanted to be there or something like that, we're just gonna put the lights on at a certain time and say, ho, 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 you know, just,
Yeah.
you know, the tree's lit up, so. And we might just do it, you want to do it Monday,
Yes.
what, at 6 o'clock Monday?
It's usually the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so we're gonna be down at 6 o'clock Monday, and, you know, it's sad that we can't get everybody down there, but, you know, the alternative is getting somebody sick also, which is not a very good thing, so.
That's when it is. All right, Mr. Village Administrator.
With this COVID going around, there's not much happening around here. Of course, we did have another individual that we had to quarantine. But the CARES Act, everybody thought there might be another round coming. There's not another round coming. Basically, when we got our checks, they combined 2 of our checks. So we actually did get all 3 rounds. And what they do is, we made sure we spent all our money, we encumbered all our money. If money comes back to them, then they go ahead and reimburse, not reimburse, what I want to say, mete out, mete out more to those folks that have spent all their money. Now, how much is going to be returned back? I wouldn't think that there should be much at all returned back. How they decide who gets that additional money, they said they do it by population. So I'm not thinking we're going to get much or if any money back. But, you know, we got $344,000, so I think that we did quite well. So, as far as the paint, the center, Jaggers, he's got a couple, but he's not going to attend tonight because, like I said, his father, I guess, was exposed. He's been with his father all weekend, so he didn't come to the meeting tonight. And with this COVID, of course, our meter installation has slowed down quite a bit. We got 806 installed at this time. The Christmas tree, we just talked about that, so it'll be 6 p.m. on Monday. And the Nature's Work grant, which I received a while back, it's at 75-25 grant. We should be getting back at least $19,000 here pretty soon for paving up there. That's about $6,000 out of our pocket, $5,000, which is just fantastic. But I'm looking at bleachers because there's still a little bit more money left on it. And we could actually purchase some bleachers. So that's kind of all I have. It's a shame we got everything paved and fixed up there and we couldn't even use that either. So. But hey, you know, the nature of the beast, and that's just what it is.
All right, thank you, Bob. Mr. Huggins isn't here. Ernie, do you have anything?
No, but I would like to meet with council with an executive session just for a very short time to update you on some litigation.
Acting Police Chief, yes,
I have a question for Mr. Wilson.
yes.
Since I was informed that I'm allowed to vote for a council member, I just want to make sure there's no malfeasance, no neglect on my part as far as voting is concerned for a family member. I just want to make sure that I don't want to get snowballed later or black eye again, so I want to make sure I'm on the right page.
I actually called the Ethics Commission, and I talked to the same guy that Ernie did, and he said that there was nothing prohibiting you from voting.
Okay. I just don't want to get.
No, I understand. He also added, never mind, go ahead.
So we're okay? All right.
There's nothing prohibiting.
That's why
you from
I
voting.
asked Ernie. I'll make sure.
All right, is that it, Mr. Martell? Police Chief McKenzie is on vacation this week. Things are running smooth. He had nothing to report. He's taking care of a sick relative in Washington. And Fire Chief Montgomery, yes.
I have a question about where do things stand with Chief McKenzie as far as, are we still accepting applications? Is he going to get the job? Because I got to tell you, I have heard so many good things about him. I mean, in the past, I'm going to say 3 months, he has really stepped up his game. I think he's done an excellent job, and I would like to say, I would love to see him be the actual chief.
He's, I'm in touch with him every day, talking to him, making sure he's catching up on things, studying, asking questions. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions. And, I mean, I don't have to sit here and tell you people that a police chief is a 9-to-5 job, which is it's an important job that I don't take lightly. And me and Mr. Smith, we've had conversations about it. You know, and like I say, with this day and age, you know, he's really interested, and he, like I said, he's asking questions. And yes, I do get a lot of good compliments from him.
Yeah, I think both
I've
of our
had a lot of
chiefs-
compliments about how nice he is to people.
Yeah,
Always with a smile on his face, you know, stops and talks to people,
playing with the kids.
you know, and they really like that. They said he has a great disposition,
He is,
you know,
A
and
community
what he's
asset.
doing.
But, I mean, he's a good PR man, which all the guys are, the 4 we have, you know. But like I said, you know, it's not a 9-to-5 job.
right.
You know, and I've emphasized that to him, while we even talk to him, you know. I know some council people, you'll say it, but, you know, he's not taking his job lightly. You know, he's doing right now.
I'm very proud of the job both of our chiefs have stepped up to the plate as far as I'm concerned. I think they're doing a heck of a
I
job.
mean, everybody's going through this thing, the fire department's going through a lot of things right now with this going on, and they're taking a lot of patience, and some of them are coming down with it, which I mean, it's a tough situation we're in right now. So with that there, I don't know where Chief Montgomery is right now.
I have to text him if you want him down here.
Yeah, I know he wanted to go into executive session tonight.
If he's busy, no. If he wants to come down and if he wants to request an executive later on, fine, but
You tell me, Mayor. You want him down here now or later?
Does he want to go to present
I
a
have,
report?
I just told him it was on 10 people, that was it, all that's allowed down here.
I mean, you know, if you're going to go to executive session, do you want to do it at the end here?
yeah.
Yeah, so let's just get through this. If he wants to give a report, that's one thing, but if he wants to go to executive session, then wait till we're all done. So I can go home and watch the
Go
reports.
to Montgomery.
Probably we would do both.
I don't know, if he wants to give a report.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if he wanted to, he would have been.
You want
He knew the meeting was here.
He knew last night, he asked us last night about executive
I
session.
saw it when I came in. He's up in his office and he said.
He said he had to wait. He
Yeah,
had
Jack
to
told
Can't
him.
let out more than
Yeah.
10 people.
Jack told him to go,
Yeah.
so we'll see what he wants to do.
Okay.
I thought he was ready to
Calling him
go
back.
back to the field.
All right.
Yeah, well,
He'll wait.
we'll wait.
Yeah,
So he just wants to give an executive session, then I take it then?
yeah.
All right, let's go into, let's see, anything from the water or sewer departments?
No, everything's going fine. We got a lot of the lime out of that, one of the basins down there. Plus, it's quite a bit of money. It's been let go for a long time, but everything is moving along. Nothing major at all, just one time.
Thank you. Anything on finance from anybody? Do we need to get a budget or anything?
I do
Yes.
have one question, only as it applies to negotiations and sitting down. I know we have to sit down with Brandon, and we have to sit down with the unions pretty soon. Do we have, was there a committee
No.
made up, or is that something that you're going to do as
Yes.
far as get a negotiating committee, or is Ernie negotiating for us? How's that going to work?
That's something I'm working on right now. I'll
Okay.
get, I mean, soon, because I know they want to meet.
Okay.
We want to meet, yes. Adam, anything on ordinances?
We do have a resolution tonight, Mayor. It's Resolution 2020-21. It's a resolution to commend George Urban for his service to the village. This time as a councilman.
Yes.
I move that a rule required of a resolution to be read by title only on 3 separate occasions be dispensed with, nor resolution number 2020-21 be given its second and third reading at this time by title only and placed before this council for its final passage or rejection.
Yes.
You want to do it? Yeah.
Do you need a second?
Yeah.
Okay?
Got it.
Okay,
Roll call.
You got roll call? didn't you?
Cramblett,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Yes.
Patel,
Yes.
Peeler,
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Okay. I move that a rule required in the resolution be read by title only and be given its second and third reading at this time by title only and placed before this council for its final passage or rejection. I move that a rule required in a resolution to be read by title only on 3 separate occasions be dispensed with, and resolution number 2020-21 be given at this time by title only and placed before this council for its final passage or rejection.
Resolution 2020-21, a resolution to commend George Urban for his service to the village. Again, it's Resolution 2020-21, a resolution to commend George Urban for his service to the village.
Yes.
I make a motion that Resolution 2020-21 be adopted this time.
A second?
Do you have a yellow copy for this, a gold copy?
Yeah, I got it right here.
I'll pass it around so we can sign it before everybody leaves.
Vote, please.
Herrick,
Yes?
Patel.
Yes.
Peeler,
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Cramblett.
Yes.
Mr. Herrick, anything on safety?
No, nothing. I've been riding around the city, but I haven't found anything out of whack. Smitty, did Timmy do anything with Mr. Nessler's tree?
I thought we took the tree out. I thought he got that tree out of there.
Oh, not the tree, just the branches.
I think he did.
Yeah, okay, I didn't go down and check, but, okay, that's good.
I know that we were told that that is on our property, so
Yeah.
I will make sure, but I think that he got that taken care of.
Okay.
And if not, it will be taken
You know what, I
care of.
saw him today too. You know, the other thing that really upsets me, and it is a safety thing, and I'm sure you've heard about it, is Vassage's building. I know, Mayor, you know about it. Terry, he put that stuff on top and keeps the pigeons from going in, but it's not where the pigeons are. You know, they're out on the ledge here. That whole ledge got to be enclosed so that they can't sit up there. And, well, Spud, you know about it, and Timmy, he hosed it the other day, but, you know, Vassage, you know, he just doesn't want to, I mean, he did get Terry Ruffin down there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get,
I don't think they know what to do.
Well, I'll get Brandon again to get on him, send him
Yeah.
a letter and tell him that he's, something done to it.
But I know Timmy said that he did it a little bit the other day, knocked some of that
Yeah.
pigeon stuff off. Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Jody, anything on buildings, roads, or transportation?
Not at this time, no.
All right. Adam, anything on street light curbs? Yes.
To go on roads, I want to just see, I don't know how many we have in the village to get more no parking this side signs. Up on the hilltop, it's getting, it's bad. Plus, we have a lot of new, younger families moving in that aren't familiar with the typical traffic flow or typical parking, how,
Where's that at now?
like Longview, Carlisle, even Eleanor's, bad enough, but,
I think we got something in.
yeah, it'd be nice to just at least keep the people off to one side, and because when they stagger, they stagger, and then with that group home up on Longview, sometimes they're parked right on the bend where people come around, they gotta go off wide, then another car's coming, and then even on that straight stretch, there's some people starting to park on the side of the road that there's never, ever been parking on that side, ever, so and I told Mackenzie about it when evening when he was out, when there was a vehicle out there, but he says he couldn't go say anything because we don't have any signs posted. So we need to get the signs up so he has a leg to stand on and he can go enforce it. So it'd be nice to get some new signage up around there just to keep the streets a little bit cleaner and, you know, easier to maneuver.
Well, you're never gonna get a lot of pushback on the roads. They all are.
Oh, well, that's a whole monster within itself. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, well,
Which
you know,
one?
I think that there were
Eleanor.
signs up
Eleanor,
there.
yeah.
I think there were signs up there and somebody took them down. And now, they're gonna get a lot of pushback up there.
Yeah, well, there's a few residents up there that always say, well, this slows people down.
Yeah.
They park that way so people have to weave, and then it's
I'll
like,
tell
well,
you,
that's not a way to slow
it is
people
really
down. We have
getting to
crossings
be a- It is
now.
getting to be a mess up.
But you know what? Their driveways are wide enough
Yeah.
or long enough that they can go in.
Yeah.
But they end up, they got one in there and put the other one out on the street.
Right.
Let's just make sure that the council is behind something here, because like I said, if Mr. McKenzie starts to go up there and we start putting these in, he's gonna catch a lot of flack for
Yeah.
this. So,
Well,
I
that's,
believe they were there before.
the point of contention will be Eleanor. Some of the other roads, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, like
Yeah.
Carlisle, Longview, those have been a certain way
For a long
forever.
time.
You know, those will be easy, just to post signs, and a lot of the people are just new families that might say, hey, okay, we didn't know, you know, they'll comply, but, you know, Eleanor is gonna be a whole different monster to, I understand, you know, to,
And you know, and you have to do it everywhere if you're gonna do it there, you know, I mean, you know, these other streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, Eleanor's gonna be pushing back, they're gonna, you know, if we're doing it on these other ones that are adjacent to you, then, you know, we're gonna.
you don't have to have every,
Well, you don't have to have
every
it.
road in a town.
No, I understand, I shouldn't have said it that way,
Yeah.
you're exactly right. But you see up there, it's getting to be a real mess.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
certain
it's been,
traffic patterns
it's been, I told
that
Joe about it
they
years ago, but he lives on that road.
Well, he likes it like-
We
he
use
likes
that
it
because
like
it
that.
slows people down, it slows people down. I'm like, well, that's not the way to slow people down, you know, that, because it inconveniences a lot of people who aren't speeding.
And if you've got a bus coming through there, it's very difficult for the buses to get through there, honestly.
You also have the same problem on Logan.
Yeah, yeah.
Logan's, I mean, it's confined to one block. And one of the problems you get there is that people park on the, if you're going up, park on the right side, but people stop on the left side, whether they want to visit somebody or.
Oh, right, yeah, there's pulled
And now you
over.
got
they're
where
parked.
there's two cars parked there and there's barely room to get
Right,
in.
you're right, yeah. Had that.
We did have signs up there. Yes, Mr. Patel?
Does that have to go through the safety department?
I was just
Put them
It
signs up?
might be, and, you know, it'd be something.
You probably, at least if there's an issue about where you're going to put them, what side, you know, about the signs, what side of the road you want to put them on and so forth, it'd probably be a good idea for the safety committee to look into it.
Then bring it back to council to vote on it?
Uh,
No?
I think you're probably okay because what's been done, you're basically just doing something that's been there before anyway, that's a standard practice. I think if the council votes today to authorize the safety committee to post signs as they determine necessary, that would solve the problem.
Satch, you want to schedule a meeting? Satch, you want to schedule a meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just me and you until we get George replaced, so.
If you need a third member to jump on, I'd be happy to join you guys, you know, George's
I have
absence.
just volunteered.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Oh,
In George's absence, if you need a third member of council, I'd be happy to.
yeah, okay.
I'd be happy to.
All right.
Thank you.
When do you want to meet, Satch?
This week is Thanksgiving. I don't think we want to,
No.
well, how about Monday the 30th? Is that good? Or is that too close to
I
everybody?
think they were talking about light up night.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just gonna put,
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to do it
That's
at
gonna
like
be in the evening.
6:30 or, well, wait,
you know, it'll
light
be
up
6
night's
o'clock.
at 6. I
It'll be
can't.
dark.
Okay, well, no, let's just go into December. We got the first, second, Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, that'll work for me.
Adam,
Either one,
what time?
whatever works for.
I can't get
6:30?
there until, well, it'll be dark by then. Do we want it to be pitch dark? The fastest I'm gonna get there is 5:45.
It's dark by then too.
Yeah.
You might want to think about a weekend or something. you know,
Yeah,
honestly.
maybe a,
Weekend?
You know, if nobody can get to get there by 5 o'clock, because it's getting dark right around 5:15 now.
Saturday, the 5th?
Yeah, I should be able to do
Give me a time.
that. Like 10,
10 o'clock in the morning, Adam?
Sure.
Okay.
Saturday 5th. Now, where are we going to meet? Do you want to meet on Carlisle, on Longview, on Logan, on?
You want to just meet at your house?
Wherever, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 10 o'clock.
Carlisle and Longview aren't going to be, those are going to be just
Easy.
very short. I mean, Eleanor's going to be the one that's going to take some debate, and then, like you said, Logan. But yeah, wherever. Saturday, 5th at 10 a.m.
Is that it, Adam?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Water and sewerage, Mr. Bertel, anything?
Just what Bobby brought up about the meters were slowed down because can't go to ounces. And with the recreation while we're here, I think they started whenever I was in the park. I don't know if they're absolutely done or not. We need to put some water in the pool, a little bit of water back in the pool. Maybe hit that hydrant and put it in there, Bobby.
Yeah, I got to lock that gate too.
Yeah, the gate up on top's gonna be locked. Somebody keeps turning that light out. I went over there the other night, turned it back on. It's back on again today. The one on
Let's see if we can
stage.
change that, let's see if we can change that cover on it, put a lock on it.
I think we put a lock on it.
I don't know if that's got a little thing underneath it, or you can put a lock, or you have to change it.
I think it does. Well, it takes a small lock.
Yeah.
But that gate's gotta be closed because people are driving down in there. They're still using the park though. I mean, the playgrounds, there's still people there. So just leave the bathroom there till end of December.
Yeah,
If not, they're gonna go every place.
yeah, we'll leave it there.
Okay. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Well, I wanted, the guy, he does a lot. I wanted, since it's on my mind, I said him the other day, and he's always going around with his weed whacker and cutting grass. Is the Jaggers. I mean, he's always doing something, trimming grass, going around, picking up trash and stuff like that. And, I'd like, just to say something about him. He doesn't go around and trimming. I caught him the other day, up there, and, I did tell him, Jaggers, we might mess with you, but we appreciate it. He's always down here. He was up on the hill the other day, and, on his off time, he does go around. He does a lot of work for us on the outside, which I think we appreciate.
That drum isn't getting
Yeah,
smaller though.
he's working on it.
That's about 5 years.
Mr. Herrick or Pat, do you have anything on that health and pension?
No.
Pat, do you have anything on senior citizen?
I spoke to Fred today. He just got finished sanitizing the whole place. I guess he's there in the morning if anybody wants to go in for coffee. And the women that were playing cards there are now starting to go back in and play. They were there today at 11. He said everything was wild. It was good.
They're all wearing masks and everything.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was opened back up.
Well, we
I
never
wasn't-
closed. Yeah, we never
I
closed.
wasn't, I usually go there. I wasn't there today. Thanksgiving. But I will check on that to make sure.
But I know Brandon went down there last week and sprayed down there. And I did tell her, social distance, mask. And I think down there, the people down at seniors, they're going to take it. They're going to be, if they don't feel safe, they're not going to go down. But it's just, somewhere where they can go right now. And if we think it's going to get scary and you guys think we should shut it down, we'll talk about it and go from there. Nothing on the BHJ. Jody and Pat, anything on economic development?
Like this time.
Okay, with that, we got any outstanding unfinished business that anybody wants to bring up?
Yeah, fire department living quarters, I mean, my understanding is Brandon's practically living here now, and I know some of the other part-timers are doing 24-hour shifts. Where are they sleeping?
They should be doing 24-hour shifts, part-timers. They shouldn't be doing 24-hour shifts. If they're working over 32 hours a week, something's wrong here, because no, they're not supposed to be working no more than 32 hours a week. Brandon, I thought it was by choice that he wants to stay here 24 hours. I find it differently, and we will have a conversation about that. I thought that was by choice too, and more and more I'm finding out. Maybe that's what we'll talk about.
Well, you know, we're not equipped to have 24-hour shifts, period. It's been talked about, but no one has given anybody permission to have 24-hour shifts. We talked about possibly 12-hour shifts. We talked about possibly taking Sophie's room and making it living quarters. This has all been talked about, but no one's been given the go-ahead to work 24-hour shifts. Now, because of COVID and because maybe people have to quarantine, it's a special case right now. Okay, so that's what you have to take into account. But, you know, right now we have not discussed anything as far as what we're going to do. It's not my place to discuss it right now. Anyhow, he's over the fire department and the police. But you know, we've thought about quite a few things to try to alleviate overtime and get more people to work here. But right now we're in a position where we can't do much about what's going on. Honestly, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. This first I heard from somebody was staying here 24 hours. And I guess if that's the only way we can do it because we can't get people, then that's what we're going to have to do. You know.
I mean, that was, as Bob said, I mean, we can have a conversation about it. Brandon, when he, you know, come on, that was his goal, but we don't have the space right now. You know, but I've always told him, schedule guys 12 hours. You know, and that, you know, whatever's going on there. And I got sheets here, time sheets, payroll sheets here, and I know there's people off, there's quarantined now. And if you're quarantined, you can go from home to here. You don't have to stay here. You know, a lot of people think that you have to stay that place you're at. No, you wear a mask, you go home, and the place, that's how you're quarantined. Was what I was told by the health department.
They're essential workers. They can wear a mask. Right. They have to have a good mask, and they can come here and they can go home. And they're essential. And, you know, January, when do we open a contract with these guys? What is this, January coming up?
March is when it expires.
Contract expires in March.
Okay, well, you know, that's when we'll start really looking at, you know, when we come into negotiations and stuff, start looking at, okay, what do we need to do in this village to maintain a fire department? What do we need to do to maintain having paramedics? Right now, like I said, we're just trying to keep people here working to give these people a service here. You know, that's what we're trying to do. And the budget isn't going to allow for us to do much more at this point in time.
Other than Brandon, is anybody else working 24 hours a day?
That part-timer.
Part-timers now? Because we need them.
We don't,
It's the first I've heard of it today.
Yeah.
That people are working 24 hours.
yeah.
But, you know, we'll do what we have to do. I mean, you know, we got to have people here, you know, so, you know, whatever it takes. I'm speaking for you, Mayor. I shouldn't be
No,
speaking
what
for you.
you're exactly saying, what I
Yeah.
was elaborating on, and we have two full-timers who's out right now with them. Either they're on quarantine or they haven't. And we had to bring somebody down from the garage.
Yeah, actually, somebody come down from, you know, from the garage to work, you know, so. We will do what we have to do so that these folks are safe here in our village and make it.
Yeah, everybody, I tell him, me and him always argue, we don't argue over it, but, I mean, fire department paramedic is my, I tend to Mingo, people at Mingo aren't gonna go unattended.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it's going to be, or have to be, or we're going to have to sit down and very seriously consider other options. But, I mean, we got new ambulances up there, we got modern equipment, you know, we got people want to work. But I understand, I mean, there's budgets you have to watch, money you have to watch. Yes, Mr. Patel?
I think we should look very serious now, what we're going to do with this so-called COVID. We're saying, what, 14 days, 10 days, 14 days? So what happens in 14 days? This guy says, well, I don't feel good, I'm staying home. Are we going to pay him again to stay home? You know, I talked to some of these fire departments, they're collecting unemployment. You want to be off, you collect unemployment, or you use your sick time.
After your 10 days or 14 days, that's what you do.
But there's a big span there, 10 to 14, you know, that's an extra 4 days of pay.
Health department is 10 days. What it was 14 days, you go back to work on the 15th day. You know, you can test positive on the 15th day, but don't mean you're carrying. Health department says 10. We stayed for 14 just to be on the safe side right now.
Yeah, do we need to get a policy in writing, though, something that,
What,
if there's no questions, it's in writing, it is what it is?
and I know what Mr. Bertel's talking about, if someone's, is on quarantine, and all of a sudden, after 14 days, they go and get tested, now they're positive, now, are we still gonna,
Right.
that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could run into a month up here pretty soon, you know, you gotta watch.
Well, I definitely,
Remember two things. It's one thing to be quarantined, it's another thing to test positive. And I'm not sure that if you have somebody that has tested positive, that you want them out there answering calls. And I'm
Let me
not
tell
even
you
sure that you
something.
could.
As somebody who tested positive, I was in no shape for 10 to 12 days to do anything.
I got a problem with that, but what happens if that 14th day that you say, okay, you gotta come back to work? I don't feel good. I'm staying home for another week.
here's the deal I would look at. If you test positive, then you have to stay home. If you're quarantined, I think you can still come to work with a mask if you're essential service.
Well,
So these guys that are quarantined but have not tested positive should be coming to work, as far as I'm concerned.
But remember, they are your part-timers who have to work around their schedule, and they can't necessarily.
I think part-timers, we don't have control over.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
we won't have, but if they're full-timers and they're quarantined and they don't test positive, I think that they should come to work.
Well, that's just the same way, and I'm thinking this here, you have a service department who was just quarantined. I think our service department is essential, by my opinion. That person could go to work with the mask on. And I don't know if someone would argue that point or not, but, I mean, those people are essential too for the upkeeping of the village.
Yeah, but there is a distinction. And the distinction is you're asking your fire department to go out and answer calls and treat people, you know, in close quarters. You're
It's a
not-
life or death kind of deal.
Yeah,
you know.
you're not asking, you know, your service department,
Yeah.
you know, most of the time they're out, you know, doing something, they're in the open air, they're not really
At risk or?
near the risk.
I think I'm gonna agree with you, you know, we need to have a policy, I don't know who's going to make this up. I think if you talk to the health department and get their guidance, of course, because that's gonna drive what you're gonna do. And then you say, okay, you know, separate the quarantine for the people that have it, get their days that they say, just use their days, so that way we don't have to make a judgment call. If they say you need to be quarantined for 14 days, you're quarantined for 14 days. We don't have to make that judgment call. And just come up with a policy saying, okay, if this happens, then you go to this, you know, just a little treat of some type. And I don't think it's gonna be that difficult, actually. But I know what you're saying, Jack, then just say if they're quarantined and they're coming to work, and then, okay, they test positive, then it goes, you go to unemployment if you've been quarantined. Well, if you're coming to work, then we don't have to worry about it, if you're quarantined, right? Because you're still coming to work, we're paying you your regular salary. Now, if you're test positive and you're at home for 14 days, you get that time, we pay for it, either, you know, it's like sick leave, but we don't take your sick leave, correct? That's what we agreed on. Even though, we're bouncing around on it because one individual was just exposed and we let him quarantine and basically we just paid him while he was at home. He was quarantined, but he didn't have it. So we definitely got to define what we want to do here with this.
I think you should have to have a positive result.
Yeah, I think if you're quarantined, but see now, here we go again. if they work for the water department or they work for the service department and they're quarantined, okay, we're not gonna pay, we're not gonna pay you, you have to, but you're not essential, so you don't go to work, so we're gonna pay you to sit there. But my fire department and police department, you're quarantined, but you gotta go to work, okay? They're gonna sit there and say, wait a minute, guys. I can sit at home since I work for the service department and get paid, and I don't have to go to work. But I can sit, but I'm with the police and the fire, but I'm essential, so I gotta go to work. So are we gonna have issues with that? You see what I'm saying? If you're quarantined from the service department or the water department, we're paying you to sit at home. You don't have to go to work.
Can I ask a question then? If you're quarantined, who makes that decision?
The health department.
Well, the health department really, and I'll tell you what, Jack, it's pretty vague and nebulous, to be honest with you, because all you have to do is say, hey, I think I was around somebody that had it, or I was around somebody that had it over here, and I want to quarantine myself, and I think it's almost like you self-quarantine yourself,
It's a
honestly.
self-decision oftentimes.
Yeah, it really is.
So it doesn't behoove us to have this person tested?
Well, you could be quarantined and tested and still test negative and quarantine yourself.
I understand that.
Well,
But he can
so
come
anybody
busy,
goes
come
on
to
quarantine,
work.
you want to get them tested?
Well,
I mean, I'm not arguing with you. We need to come up with a policy, and I have no problem opening this up and saying, hey, you gotta do this, this, and this. I have no problem with that. Because like I said, we're gonna run into problems right now with the service department, with your water department.
I can
because-
tell you when I did not go to work that Monday, I didn't feel good, and I called my supervisor and told him that I wasn't feeling good, and I was erring on the side of caution and not coming into work. He called me back later that day and said, oh, by the way, you'll have to get a test before you're even allowed to come back into work.
That might be something we do.
I went and tested Tuesday, I got my results Thursday. I didn't come, I took my test on Tuesday, I did not come down here, I sent Inzal a text, and I quarantined from the 7th. My symptoms started on Saturday the 7th. I was tested on Tuesday the 10th, positive the 12th. My quarantine ended on Wednesday the 18th. And that was all through Hannah at the health department, the nursing director.
Yeah, and I think the best thing is one, call guidance to the health department. I think anybody that's off being quarantined, or even somebody that's working under the quarantine because they're essential, before they come back regularly, get off the quarantine, they need a positive or a negative test. And that negative test, and the important thing is that negative test has to go through the health department. Health department doesn't do the test, but the health department gets notified of every test. And I think you have to know, I don't think you take somebody's word that I tested negative.
Oh, no, I got it.
Yeah, they need to have some sort of
I have a
documentation, yeah.
I took
We
a
really
picture
have to
of it.
think about getting this.
But what's important is that the health department is the people that should be clearing. That takes you off the hook.
Yeah, we don't want to violate anything they have to say. I mean, we want to be in accordance with everything they have to say.
They're the ones who told me when we had a policeman who was off, they told me when he could come back to work as long as he wore a mask.
And just like in the water department, those folks are essential too.
Well, then
You know, I mean, some of those folks are essential to run that water plant, and that's what we did with an individual. He wore a mask. He was quarantined for 14 days, but he went to work. The other individual did not.
As far as saying who's essential, that's pretty much your game. I mean, that pretty much falls on you. The health department is going to tell you, this guy's essential, this guy's not. That's pretty much a determination, pretty much in his departments for Bob, and you know, obviously police and fire.
Police and fire is probably a given, pretty much, you know what I mean?
Well, I think fire and police are both given.
Yeah.
You know, I think those are pretty much a given. In your case, I think it's something you gotta look at.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you gotta take it, case by case, saying, hey, you've gotta go to work, you've gotta pump water. You know, I mean, I have to have somebody out there operating.
I mean, I think the water department probably is essential. You know, I think that, you know, and for the most part, I think most of your department is essential.
But I think you also need to remember that just because, you know, especially if they have it, they may not feel up to coming to
If-
work.
if
I'm
they
telling
have
you,
it-
it kicked my butt.
First off, they have it. being essential doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you have it, I don't want you coming
They
to work.
have it, they don't come to work.
If you test positive, I don't want you coming to work, because
But,
we know
you
now.
As an example, say somebody in the police department tests positive. Now, he's exposed to other people in the building with the police department. Depending on his level of exposure, which is the determination that the health department will make, they may tell you to quarantine. But a policeman, a fireman, and probably even a lot of boss people are easily considered essential employees, especially in a small town. You know, yeah, if you're in Cleveland, you know, you can have 20 or 30 policemen.
Next man up.
Yeah, you know, you're not exactly right.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a next man.
Not here, right? Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, the health department obviously has to be our first point of reference, and then other than that, if we can find, other communities that have written language already that we can use as a template, or at least a jumping off point, something to start with, and we can kind of take what we like, what we don't like, or tweak it to meet our needs, but, I think just, we need something in writing, just so we have a leg to stand on, and
Yeah.
that it's clear cut, there's no question,
Ambiguity.
it's just,
I'll shop around.
yeah.
And maybe, anybody else in here is free to shop around.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
and Google search,
You know.
yeah. Yeah.
So, I think we need to get this done like quickly, maybe next week sometime.
We're already feeling the burn, so.
All right.
I have one more thing. I got a call today from Jim Morocco, who was upset at the ad that was in the Herald Star and the fact that there was no date. It just said the application's being accepted through Friday. It didn't give the November 20th date on the email. So he thought, and he didn't see it until Thursday, so he thought it was this Friday. And he was very upset. He called Kim. Kim told him that he missed the deadline. I'm sorry.
That's
Kim?
a style thing on our end.
That needs to have the date on there. No, I don't care about
That's
style.
an editorial thing, it's not,
It
he
means-
sent it as November 20th, when it's within 1 week, we go by the date of the week.
Yeah.
If it's a date, if it's more than a week away, then we use the date, but I can shed some light on that, that's an
That, yeah,
editorial
it
thing.
actually caused somebody who wanted to be considered for this council position to miss it.
Who was it?
Jim Morocco. And he wasn't very happy about it, so I told him I'd bring it up. And the other thing I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this last night, and they told me that Ernie set this up, and that is that those emails should have gone to a Mingo Junction email address, not Kim's private, in my opinion. I mean, we
I
all
didn't-
have email addresses.
Well,
There's
first of all,
one
I
for the
didn't
clerk.
set up anything except to say, yes, they can email their application. I didn't say anything about where.
Okay, I was told last night that you were the one who specified to use Kim's personal email
No,
address, and I think
absolutely-
that's totally wrong.
Absolutely not, I did not say that.
Okay. I was told you did.
Yeah.
But in any case, if we do another ad, I think we need to use the Village of Mingo, one of our email addresses for the clerk or the deputy clerk or whoever they're going
Yeah, I
to.
assumed it was going to either to the
No,
clerk's address, I
no.
didn't know it was.
kkrug@yahoo.com.
Okay, well, I really didn't pay attention, I don't know.
And it just,
Yeah, I agree with that.
it's not very professional in my opinion. And that's all I'll say.
All right, do you have anything else? If not, I'd like to have a motion to go into executive
I'd
session.
like to make a motion to go into executive.
And I also need to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
So, yeah.
So we've got 3 sessions.
So I don't need to pay for anything, right?
Bob, I think you need to stay for mine.
Well, how about I have yours first?
Vote, please.
Cranwood?
Yes.
Excuse me. Herrick?
Yes.
Bertel?
Yes.
Mueller?
Yes.